How do you honestly feel about Dan getting most of the credit for the business's success?
I like this one. Are you concerned about how the amount of money you spend in Pret a Manger affects our profits?
What would you do with the business if Dan died? In this video, two business partners, aka Dan and Lloyd, are going to be asking each other awkward questions that we've never asked each other before.
We basically wanted to come up with a video idea to share some insights into us and what it's like to be business partners. We've basically written down 10 to 15 questions that we've never asked each other before, and we don't know what these questions are. And we're going to answer them on camera and just see what happens, basically.
You ready?
I'm ready.
What did you cut this with? A potato. Right, first question. What is the best thing about working with Dan? Alright, so these are supposed to be like hard questions. Oh, I've never asked you this before. Dan asked me, tell me good stuff about me all the time.
That was one good.
Just a normal question.
You picked the one positive one.
He's far more motivated and driven than I am. I take a lot more.
You'd be shit if you worked on your own.
Yeah, I would. I actually do think I would be.
No, you wouldn't.
On my own, I would.
Have you prepared these answers in your head?
No, why?
Because that sounded really well articulated.
You're just so brilliant. It's so easy to come up with these answers.
Right. What annoying habits do I have that you would change? I like how I think I've written the questions in third person and you've written in first person.
Yeah.
One thing that's quite annoying, and maybe this is just my perception of you, but you sometimes kind of think of the negative things in a situation and it's all doom and gloom. And whereas I try and always think of the solution, or I'd like to think, you may say something different, but you're always quite, something happens with a client or with whatever, and it's kind of like, oh my god, that's terrible. And I'm like, cool, what can we do to make this a really good thing for us?
Yeah.
Did you say that's right or not?
I can see why it's perceived as being negative, but I would always think, what are the problems we need to overcome? So we need to know what the problems are to find the solution. So I focus on the problems, and then, whereas I think sometimes you move ahead just saying, no, it's all going to be fine. Well, we actually have to address what's not fine, otherwise it won't be. That's where
other annoying habits, can I say a couple more?
Yeah.
Other annoying habits.
We'll be here all day.
I think, well, just one more then. When you can tell that you probably haven't had enough sleep and you're tired, you're really short-tempered and like, just horrible to be around. This is what I'd say, maybe once a week for 5 minutes, or, you know.
I have absolutely no defence for that. That is 100% true. What is the one thing about Dan you think he could improve to be a better business partner?
I'm genuinely excited to hear this answer.
Oh, I've got to think of just one. That's a challenge. No, the one thing I think Dan could improve is listening.
Carry on.
Carry on, I'm listening.
Yeah.
What advice would you give other business partners that isn't spoken about much to ensure they have a healthy relationship?
Are you putting those at your bum?
Yeah. Great question. I think the big picture you need to be aligned, what you're actually aiming for, but the path you take to get there and the day-to-day decisions, I think, yeah, it's fine that you don't always agree. If you're liking this, by the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us, share this, all that kind of thing. We do videos like this, teaching businesses about business growth, digital marketing, that kind of thing.
I like this one. Are you concerned about how the amount of money you spend in Pret a Manger affects our profits? Right, so just an insight into this. Lloyd does a lot of our accounts on Xero, and he sees the company card what gets spent. I don't do any of that, so he can just spank what he wants on the company card.
Spending, I then go through it,
reconcile it. No, I think I'm very fair with what I spend on the company card.
That's good that you think that.
What, you're spanking on the company card? Well, I would take the mick out of him because I just call him the Tapmeister. Tap, tap, tap with the contact list. Like when we go to events and you get drunk and then buy random women drinks for their birthdays.
One time.
Do you think I should be more active on social media? Oh, good question. If it didn't have a negative impact on anything else, yes. But my real answer is no, I don't think you should, because I think you're already investing time in doing other really important stuff. And if you started to reduce that and just post more stuff on social, on your own personal accounts and that kind of thing, I think it would have a detrimental effect. That's my honest answer.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm spending time on other things in the business and
You're spending time watching Facebook videos and stuff.
much more important, YouTube videos mainly. What would you do with the business if Dan died? Deep! Oh, just a bit of light-hearted fun from KDIS Digital Marketing. If I'm honest,
It'll be better.
I'm not, yeah. If I'm honest, I mean, profits will go through the roof. I'm not an emotionally very strong person, so I think it would probably affect me quite badly. So I'm not sure. I think I'd probably have to have quite a long break from the business, and then I have no idea, because I think our business works so well because of the different strengths we have. If I didn't have your side, then it wouldn't. The business wouldn't work in the format it is at the moment. So my answer would be no bloody idea. Hope that doesn't happen.
Horrible question.
Horrible question.
Who do you think works harder?
Oh,
good question. I know why you've asked this, because I always
work harder.
No.
Oh.
I work more hours, I would say. You can do more good stuff in less time, which I know sounds stupid. I think I'm not naturally talented at
In anything.
No, at like this. So I feel like I do have to put more hours in, and stuff that I sometimes take a day to do, you would probably do in less time.
Sometimes me being able to do things quicker and certain things coming more naturally to me is a negative thing, because I think, oh, I've got loads of time to do that. By the way, just to clarify, I don't the clock doesn't turn 5 and I go, right, fuck this, see you later.
He's already gone by 4:30. Everyone
thinks I'm like locked in the office. Dan locked me in working. Or
someone messaged me the other day, I can't remember who it was, saying, do you lock Lloyd in a cupboard? In a shed?
Yeah, I got tweeted that the other day.
I'm like, what?
And I was at home with my feet up thinking no, and Dan was locked in the office like 3 in the morning. What is the shittest thing about working with Dan?
I hate hearing negative feedback as well, so this is difficult for me to ask.
Again, there's just so much I could say. It's really hard to just narrow it down. It's the listening thing, which again, I have to admit, there's got to be some of it on my side, this whole communication thing. But
no, communication's a one-way thing. Have you ever thought about doing something else? We'll both cross that hurdle when it comes to it, but I don't feel like we're nowhere near where we want to be with this business first. So it's kind of like, if you start focusing on loads of other things, then it's like, you're spreading yourself too thin. So I'm fully focused on this for the next 2030 maybe.
For the next 2030. How do you honestly feel about Dan getting most of the credit for the business's successes? Dan is very much more the face of the business, so Dan's speaking at more events and representing our business. But because of that, obviously I'm locked away in the cupboard working hard, and when we produce good stuff and do good work for clients and stuff, a lot of the time people say, well done, Dan. The funniest part is when it's like, if it's been, obviously I work more on the video side of things, so sometimes like if it's been a project where it's just video production, so Dan helped with the strategy side,
creative direction.
First 10 to 20%, and then I did all the rest of the work. And then we post it and go, oh great video for this client, and then people come in, great work Dan, bloody brilliant, well done Dan. My 100% honest answer is it doesn't bother me at all. Good work, Dan.
When we struggle to communicate, do you honestly think it's me being shit at talking or you being shit at listening?
Oh, this has come up again.
Well, this is interesting. I definitely think it's both. I reckon you think that it's mainly me being shit at listening, and I know you think that.
Previously, I 100% thought it was just Dan being shit at listening.
That is such a...
in the last month or two, I've realised that it is a bit of both. It's probably like 80% Dan being bad at listening. Have you ever thought about stopping being a business partner with Dan? No. Do you think Dan thinks he is better than you? What, just better in general as a person? If so, yes. In business, I think you do think you are better than me slightly, because I think you are.
take that. That's interesting.
Can I go back to my cupboard now?
No. Final question. This has been really fun. I genuinely want to do this as a weekly thing.
Yeah, live. I think live.
Live.
Yeah. So if you're watching this video, it was a mistake. Should have done it live.
Yeah. And any questions you think we should ask each other, please do send in because that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Final question. What do you find hardest about working with me? I think it's just the couple of things that I've mentioned already, which are me thinking you have a negative outlook on some things when I want to look positively.
Not really. I don't know you were in the video.
Sometimes you being moany when you haven't enough sleep. But I mean, if that's really the hardest thing, we've got a blooming good partnership, I think, which is why it works so well.
Dan never listens, and I need to sleep more and be more positive. So I'm up for a nap!
He's laughing at himself over there.
I was really laughing at myself over there. I didn't go for a nap.
I looked over and he was just literally in hysterics at his joke that he just did.
Oh, brilliant. What would you do without me as a business partner?
You find yourself so funny, but I find you so funny as well.
Yeah, it's almost as if I'm really funny.
Thank you so much for watching until the end. I think this does feel like therapy for us, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's really good discussing this sort of thing, and it's discussing some things that I think people don't discuss in business and just try and put out a message that everyone's perfect.
Yeah.
I think we have focused on the difficult parts, obviously in this video, but I think don't get us wrong. Like 95% of our day to day,
it's just perfect,
really,
and we're perfect.
Yeah, we're perfect and brilliant. If you have any questions you want to ask us about us working together, being family and working together, growing our business, marketing, anything like that, put them in the comments below and we're going to collate them all and make this into a bit of a series, I think.
Yeah,
nice.
Cool. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe around here somewhere or connect with us, whichever social platform you're seeing this on, and we'll see you next week.
Don't forget to say what we talked about.
What was that?
Are you joking?
Oh god. Think of the positives, Lloyd.
Yeah. No! Just rambling. Rambling.
What were you saying?
And I get it.
Oh, that was so good.